Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. And AT&T dropped their Q1 earnings this morning. I will leave a link to this article in the description down below so you guys can check it out. So AT&T delivers strong first quarter financial performance. So I wanna be objective about that, and I want to look into that because we can already compare that to what Verizon reported yesterday, and we'll do that briefly in this video since they're pointing out they had strong financial performance. So AT&T added 324,000 postpaid phone net adds with a postpaid phone churn of 0.83%. That is already better than what Verizon posted yesterday. Verizon posted a consumer loss of 356,000, ended up being like 298,000, which is offset by the business gains of 67,000. But again, I'm just being objective, pointing it out. Even though Verizon took the losses that they took, Verizon came in at a free cash flow of $3.6 billion. AT&T is citing strong financial performance, which, you know, this is still a lot of money, but they only came in at $3.1 billion, and they grew to 324,000 postpaid phone nets. You see where I'm going? So even though Verizon lost customers, they're still financially strong and disciplined financially. So eventually it will have to show up in Verizon's finances. If they keep losing like this quarter after quarter after quarter and shedding customers, it's going to show up at some point in time in the financials. But this first quarter just wasn't it, right? But eventually, if the quarter after quarter after quarter, the losses will add up and they will have to correct course. But for now, even though they took a loss, they still had more free cash flow than AT&T. And then we'll have to, of course, compare that to T-Mobile when they report tomorrow. Fiber, 261,000 adds. This is the 21st consecutive quarter doing 200,000 or more. It's big. The fiber business is big for AT&T, and they're converging. They're now over 40% on the convergence rate. I think it's 40.2% of customers that are getting mobile and fiber, right? So if they get fiber, they get mobile. It's growing over 40%. It's going to be on an incline, steady incline. I think eventually they get to 50%. Convergence is a really big deal for AT&T, so be on the lookout for more fiber and JV partnerships and purchases in the M&A space for AT&T. Lumen hasn't been officially announced, but I think we already know that one is bound to happen. And again, AT&T points it out here, more than 4 out of 10, every 10 AT&T fiber households now choose wireless. That's a big deal. That's going to really get Verizon and T-Mobile's attention. Other than that, capital investment is still in the $22 billion range for the year. That's a big deal. I think they did spend $4.5 billion in total, and then out of that $4.5 billion, capital expenditure of $4.3 billion, and then the total capital investment of $4.5 billion. So I think they spent a little more than Verizon in the quarter, but again, a lot of that goes to fiber, so not really. It's really hard to kind of pick that number apart, but it's still a strong investment. And then them coming in at $22 billion for the year, that's a huge investment. I know a lot of that goes to fiber, but just thought I'd point that out. So financials were strong. They came in at a total revenue of $30.6 billion, not taking that away from AT&T, but still not as strong as what Verizon posted, even though Verizon posted a loss. So stay tuned for more. We'll talk more about this later. I got to get on this call. I just wanted to share this with you guys so you guys can have your first impressions and thoughts. But AT&T grew 324,000 postpaid customers, but yet they still came in lower on the financial side versus Verizon that took a 356,000 customer loss. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.